Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for bearing with us for 42 extra minutes. We sincerely apologize about this. So tonight we're very excited to be hosting the North Africa Regional Finals Startup World Cup pitch competition. Now, this competition isn't quite, named correctly, as we do have representation across Africa. But we have a startup from Nigeria and also one from Kenya and many others from Egypt. So the Startup World Cup initiative is a global initiative that goes to countries across the globe and gives startups the opportunity to come and essentially pitch on the global stage. So the startup that wins tonight is going to have the opportunity to travel to Silicon Valley in September 2022 and pitch at the Global Summit. The format for this is going to be a 3-minute pitch with a 3-minute Q&A. We're going to do 5 startups, take a 10-minute break, and then do another 5. Sound good? Also, forgot to mention, the winning startup of the global competition in September has the opportunity to win $1 million investment from Pegasus Tech Venture. So introducing our judges, our first judge is Laila Hassan, the general partner of Algebra Ventures. Our second judge is Saad Sheikh, partner of TLG Capital. Bidda Wycliffe, senior associate at Goodwill Investments. Mahmoud El-Zohiri, managing director of EFG EV Fintech. And Wanjiku Kimiani, venture partner at the Baobab Network. I do sincerely apologize. I had a allergic reaction.
Let's hear it for Andrew. Put this day together. All right. I assume we're going right into pitches? Great. Do we have an order of operation? Of course. Amanleek, our first pitch.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm super delighted to be here. My name is Mohab. I am the co-founder and CEO of Amanleek. At Amanleek, we help insurance companies penetrate Egypt's lower middle income class. That's a population of 50 million people, through reinventing how insurance is sold and managed. My journey with insurance started back in 2016 when I was a traditional broker. I used to sell insurance through cold calls. During that time, I noticed 3 things. I was only selling to Egypt's top 1% of society, people that could afford insurance. And it took them 3 weeks to get their membership card, and the claims were done manually. All in all, it was a horrible experience to get insurance in Egypt, and it needed some digitization. That's why we created Amanleek. On Amanleek, you can get insurance in less than 5 minutes. All the client has to do is get on the platform, answer a few questions, and pick the plan that suits their needs, and then they get a membership card sent to their email. This is the end of paperwork in insurance, because the client is then onboarded onto our customer service app where they can do automated claiming. The insurance market in Egypt is very promising. It's a $2.5 billion market. It grows 20% year over year with less than 1% insurance penetration in this country. Our revenue stream is very straightforward. We make money from insurance company. We take commissions that vary between 10 to 30%. Depending on the type of insurance that we sell. We make these commissions when signing up a new client and on the annual renewal of the same client. Since our launch in January 2020, we've been growing super fast. Last quarter revenues are triple all the revenues of 2020. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And please, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer. I had a deck, I promise, but there is a technical issue.
Thank you so much for the pitch. Can you tell us more about your go-to-market strategy? Because you said you're focused on middle and lower income, which is typically a taboo in insurance, etc. So it'd be great if you can
Yes.
shed light.
So our model, we started out with a B2C model, and now we are tweaking the model a little bit into the B2B2C. And hence, our revenues have been growing very fast. So like our acquiring costs are down because of the B2B2C model. We not only distribute the product or the policy digitally, we also use the data that we have from our data hub. So we get data from 3 sources. We have the website, the mobile app, and we have created our insurance tailored CRM. We created from scratch. And we get a lot of data from this. We run AI models and machine learning, and we create our own exclusive products. We don't carry any risk. We create it with an insurance partner that carries the risk, but it's an exclusive product that you can only get from Amanleek.com. And basically, why we do this, I'm sorry, is because the products are either outdated or coming from the West. So they only cater to the top 1%. This is the main pain with the market.
Great, thank you very much. Just a quick question around the disruption that you're creating. I understand you're digitalizing the process, but is there a disruption angle that only 1% can access insurance? Why can't you create a product that can penetrate the market more? On a weekly basis, you can charge insurance premiums. As a consequence, you're hosting that insurance amount on behalf of Jubilee Insurance or Sanlam or whatever, or Saham, for example. Is that something that you've thought of as an expansion strategy? Because it's great that you've built a base model, but what are you going to do in terms of growth?
Yes, so our first product, our first exclusive product is called Secure Plus. It's an individual insurance, medical insurance product that is aimed at workers that are insured at their work, but the work doesn't insure their families. Our client persona is, so like one of our very early adopters, his name is Walid, is a site engineer. He earns 10,000 Egyptian pounds per month. That's like $500. He has 2 kids and a wife. He pays us 400 Egyptian pounds per month to insure his family. The product Secure Plus, he can only access it from our website, and it's 40% cheaper than any other similar product in the market. The product itself is created by us. We created the table of benefits from scratch. So we put the benefits that matter to a lead. There are 2 components usually to any plan: outpatient and inpatient. Inpatient is any hospitalization, any major crisis in your life that needs hospitalization. And outpatient is the day-to-day activities, like a doctor visit and going to labs and x-rays. What we found out is people like Walid cared more about the day-to-day activities because it was the most frequent activity that they did.
Thank you for that. So I just want to understand more about the claims process. So I know in insurance, the biggest part, you sell insurance, but when it comes to claims, clients become disappointed and they do not renew. So how are you solving that problem?
Yes, so right now we are integrated with 13 insurance companies. Not everyone has the technical capabilities or the adoption early on to automate the claims because of fraud, but we are trying to automate the minor claims, the things that will not cost the insurance company a lot of money. And we're learning along the way. So I cannot tell you that I have all the answers right now, but what we're doing and what differentiates us about any other broker is that we have the data and we're learning every day.
Q&A is for 3 minutes, according to them, yeah? So, just maybe.
Hi, thank you. Just a quick one, because you're developing the product, but you're not underwriting it. In terms of pricing of the product, do you have a structure that you share with the underwriter?
Yes, so I have two co-founders, so we're a total of 3 people. One of us is ex-TNS and Nestle. He spent all his career working in market research. So early on, we started doing those market research studies, and we reached a price point that we negotiated with the insurance company, and the insurance company negotiated it with the reinsurer. We reached that it's a pre-underwritten product, so you just enter your age and you'll get the price. We don't do any underwriting.
What insurance companies are you integrated or work with, more or less? What's the plan for Amanleek in the future? And what other types of insurance would you consider delving into?
Okay, so right now I was a traditional broker, so it was not a big issue for me to onboard the insurance companies. I had the connections. But our biggest success to date is integrating with multinationals like AXA and Allianz. And I have a very inspirational, very short story about Allianz. One of the first naysayers and people that didn't adopt our technology was Allianz and the sales manager. That sales manager, fast forward 14 months, is joining our team as head of sales. So the adoption has been really great. The way forward that I see in the insurance market and for Amanleek is the one-page policy. Something that we will create that is so simple, so clear, and so cheap that you don't think twice before buying online. This is what the market needs right now.
Well done. Just a quick clarification. We're going to adjust our format a little bit. So the pitches are 3 minutes. I'll be the one waving my hands over here and policing you. Each judge gets 1 question. Try to please keep it to a single question instead of a layered question, and we'll give a maximum of 1 minute for each answer. And that's essentially what we had here, so it'll be fair to everyone else. All right, I'd like to welcome Fundoc.
No worries. So, hi, I'm Mohammed Nassar, one of the co-founders of Fundoc. Fundoc is a digital cloud-based guest experience enrichment solution catering to limited service hotels and limited service independent hotels and holiday homes. But what does that really mean? Pre-COVID and now looking at post-COVID, the fastest growing segment in international travel has been independent hotels, such as all these boutique hotels that we see around, and holiday homes, Airbnbs and whatnot. Travelers to these hotels, us, we're connected to our digital ecosystems in our home countries, and we look forward to taking that same level of convenience as we travel. So we decided to bring this solution to bring harmony between the guests. One more, please. Yeah. To bring harmony between the goals of these operators of these holiday homes and independent hotels and the goals of the guests, mainly convenience in enriching their journey as they travel. For the operators, we give them a 360-degree control of the guest journey from pre-check-in all the way through to post-checkout. By integrating with smart technologies, we allow them to save costs in check-in, check-out, and operations, and we allow them to make more money by really accessing our service marketplace and upselling their own services. For the travelers, we allow them to have an in-pocket digital experience, giving them a city guide, an apartment guide, a neighborhood guide, and an access to local services that they can order without downloading a single app, without creating a profile, without even creating a password. So this is Fundoc. The size of the market is quite large, estimated in 2019 to have been about $10 billion in the MENA region, based on the 2 to 4-star hotel apartments, the hotel rooms. I'll just go, it's fine. Yeah, just click along. The competitive landscape is quite clear for us. There do exist certain solutions that offer a similar service to ours in a certain way, but our key differentiator is the fact that we are a PWA, a progressive web app, where you do not need to download an application, like I said, off the Apple Play Store or the Google Play Store, and we're available on a smart TV. And the proof is in the pudding. Guests do love us. These are genuine reviews by guests that have used the Fundoc over the years. We launched in 2020 in Dubai, not the most convenient of times for a guest travel solution, but it really did allow us to enhance our MVP. We have now fundamentally proven that our model works in accordance with all our projections, and that is in no small part to the partnerships that we have created, partnerships with operators, partnerships with service providers, namely also a partnership with LG that allows our TV app to be native to LG's IPTV solution. Now, we would be remiss without talking about the operators. We've also proven that we allow them to have cost-saving efficiencies and making more money. We have been trusted by some of the region's most reputable investment brands, having raised our pre-seed amount with Falak Startups and WAMDA. 3-year ambitious growth plan because we're an ambitious team of startup founders, over 65 years of experience in a whole bunch of businesses. So thank you very much. Yeah.
If you could just kindly explain the business model or the revenue model a little bit. Why would somebody pay you for that service, and how much do you charge? How does it work?
Yeah, so we do two things. Our revenue is based on two different parameters. We take a commission from you as an operator of a bunch of holiday homes for deployment of the solution in every apartment that you manage or own. And that fee that we get is a small amount, basically to lock you into a long-term contract. For that fee that you get a digital apartment guide. You get communication with the guests directly on their phone. So we help you to streamline the operations. If there are smart technologies like locks or whatnot, we integrate with those, allowing you to check in and check out your guests through the fund doc. We also get, where we really make our money is through the service marketplace, where we integrate with local service providers and onboard them onto the fund doc. So me as a guest, when I use my fund doc on my phone and order, let's say, a bunch of groceries from a store, fund doc gets a percentage of that transaction as well. So this is the dual streams of monetization.
Thank you. Can you tell us a bit about your traction and utilization? Are actually people using the service?
Yeah, this is probably the most challenging metric that we're looking at. Challenging because, of course, like I said, we launched in 2020, not the most ideal of times. But also, when we first launched, we launched as a solution that was on a bit of hardware inside an apartment or a hotel room, basically a tablet. And that allowed us to have amazing traction in terms of utilization per apartment deployed or per room deployed, because there's a lovely tablet. Everyone's going to want to use that. But of course, it comes with a lot of challenges. And when we spoke to Falak, when we spoke to WAMDA, when we spoke to other advisors around, we were really advised to really think outside the box. But we knew that convenience is always key. No one wants to download another application for 3.5 days. And that's when we came to the PWA solution, which we have now launched in Egypt, in the President Hotel, in 110 apartments. So instead of about 70–80% engagement that we've been getting on the tablets, we're getting about 5 to 6%. But we have one key access point that we're working on, which is a QR code inside the hotel room. We're hoping our target is to get about, let's say, 25 to 30% engagement, dropping from the 80% with the device. That's where we're at.
What will be the funding used for?
Sorry, sir?
The funding, what will it be used for?
Yeah, so the funding is scale. We've proven that the model works on a limited scale and on an MVP level. We want to be present. We have a bank of 600 apartments in Dubai. We want that to be about 3,500. We have about 100 hotel rooms in Cairo. We want to be at about 5,000. We want to go to the Red Sea. We want to go to Saudi Arabia. We want to go to Abu Dhabi. We want to be the essential travel companion for any traveler, international traveler in the Middle East, in the MENA region. That's what we want to be in the short to medium term. Thank you very much.
Next up is Med. Here.
Hi. There's around 10 million emergency requests happening in Egypt yearly, with the rate of 200,000 cases happening per week. I'm Dr. Ahmed Mohsen, and here's how the situation goes. A while ago, I got a call from one of my friends. He's asking for someone to help his sick grandma at home. He called me. He told me I can't find any doctor to come and help us with that. Okay, so I told him, okay, calm down, do 1, 2, 3, get in the car and meet me at Hospital X. We managed the situation and we helped her to get better, but this took around 4 hours to get from home to hospital. So what happened over there? What was the situation? basically the person in this situation, he doesn't know all the hospitals or the doctors available around him. And even if he does, he doesn't know who has this service or can come home and who is available at this moment. With Medic application, you can simply send the specialty that you need into a request that goes through to all the available nearby hospitals and doctors. And the first one to respond can go on and help the user. Meanwhile, there is a medical phone support to guide through the situation in case this is an urgent or life-threatening situation or whatever. Okay? In Medic, we cover the cases starting from primary health care, like follow-ups or checkups or chronic diseases, up to the emergency situations. So as I mentioned before, there is around 10 million emergency requests happening yearly. But there is a lot of other demography that we need to consider. There is 28 millions with chronic diseases, there are more than 7 millions elderly, and there is more than 2 millions pregnant women that needs regular checkups and need primary health care at home. So with that being said, the market now is being explored by other applications. There is Visita starting to push through home healthcare services, scheduled home healthcare services, and the other applications are pushing through and trying to have an urgent, like I need someone today to come at home or I need someone tomorrow. In Medic, we provide that plus the medical phone support immediately. I need someone on the phone right now, this can be provided. The revenue model now is basically through the commission-based per each visit, and we're going to push through in the third quarter next year for the pay-per-minute module in case they need the call only, they doesn't need a primary health provider at home. And after that, we're going to push for the yearly subscription. Now we have launched our application like a while ago with the MVP in last April. We have now expanded and working in 2 areas in Egypt, 6th of October and Sheikh Zayed. Time? Okay. 5 seconds. Okay, we're introducing new specialties and then labs and scans up in the future. I believe that's it.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So I have this question. Are you integrated with the hospitals?
Yeah. We already were 15 hospitals in Sheikh Zayed in October.
So when they say they have an empty bed at the moment of emergency, I go there and I find an empty bed. You're in?
No, not the empty bed. I need someone to come at home now.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it the other way around.
Okay.
Do you guys want to go this way this time, just for the interest of time, so you get the chance to ask as well?
Thank you for that. So,
You're welcome.
question is, right now, how are you thinking of expanding? Because you're currently in one area. Yeah, how are you thinking of expanding and how are you currently acquiring your customers? I think we weren't able to go through that.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to go through that. We are acquiring users through digital marketing, basically, because it's an application, so that's the best way. For partners, it's mapping, scouting, and then contracts. We're already with 15 hospitals in Sheikh Zayed in October. We're going to go around Greater Cairo, then close into downtown.
What about the healthcare data that you're generating? How are you protecting that for each user, and where are you warehousing it? And then how do you pass it on to a doctor if they go to a different doctor?
Okay, for now we didn't push with the EMR yet. The medical profiles is not there integrated. We're still waiting for the data center to start. There's someone legalizing this stuff, to how to protect the profiles and that stuff. For now, we're just pushing through. This request happened in this specialty. There is no further data kept in the application. In the future, this is going to be a protected passport for each user.
Can you tell us a bit about your traction?
Okay, in the 35 days when we tried with the previous name, we got 400 downloads and 150 users, and we got our first request.
I'm just dying to ask. Yeah, and like since your launch, what are kind of the challenges that you've been facing in terms of having this operation?
In terms of operation, okay, as you can see the team, there is two work in the operation, medical director and the operations. They're pretty stretched thin to meet the hospitals. Okay, I'm not available now. To cover more area, the hospitals are eager to work with us. They want to sign, but we don't have the time to meet all of these at one moment. and we need to further develop the application to adjust to the needs of the hospitals. Sometimes we need an iOS version, sometimes we need this specialty, this or that. This is mainly the challenge that we're facing now. Thank you.
Thanks. So we've had InsurTech, MedTech, Travel Tech. We've got a diversity of sectors represented, significant addressable markets for all of those. Next up, our fourth pitch is Counter One Serve.
Thank you so much. My name is Charles from Naivera Holdings Limited. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Naivera, and we are based in Nairobi with setups or sampling in terms of business in Uganda, Zambia, and also Nigeria. Our journey has been inspired by my experience and my engagement in the industry. I've been consulting for cooperatives in Kenya, especially the coastal region. And that's where I came into terms with the problems that SACCOs and MFIs have been going through. That is in terms of customer acquisition. When you talk about SACCOs, we are talking of savings and credit cooperative societies. We are talking of MFIs. And it's in that process that this product was born, whereby we are addressing the challenges that the microfinance institutions go through, SACCOs. And it's in that process that we came up with Naivera Holdings, and we registered, that is in 2019, June, although we had begun a little bit earlier, but operation happened then. So ours was to build a platform that can be able to bring lenders and borrowers together and streamline the interaction between lenders and borrowers. Ideally, when we started, we realized that there is more credit that was coming from not only institutions, but also people are borrowing from lenders. As you have seen, 60% of credit in Africa actually comes from non-bank institutions, that being SACCOs and also individuals. So we built this platform that addressed the need of these institutions, and we also looked at the need of the individuals who need to lend. So we are talking of individual lenders wanting to lend to someone, but the biggest challenge is how secure and how safe is my lending. And that's why, to address the issue of defaults in the market, we are bringing institutions and influencing them towards lending income-generating assets so that they can support their businesses. And we are talking of smaller assets like motorbikes, smaller assets like manufacturing equipment that SMEs require, and also housing, which is low-cost kind of housing, so that, again, we can diversify the portfolio of credit. Our product comes in two shapes, one for the organizations and a crowdfunding platform, which is in the mobile app, where we tell people to lend and they can earn, and also they can be able to grow. Our model is very simple. We make money through setup fees whenever we give institutions our platform. We also charge subscription fees, that is on monthly basis, and also share revenues with the lenders, that is on the crowdfunding platform. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So question from me, so do you also do disbursement and collections on the platform? And also, what currently are you doing with the data? How are you determining credit worthiness?
Thank you so much. We have institutions already, they are doing their credit and they have their processes. Ours is just to help them to fine-tune them and to channel credit towards funding assets so that they can reduce default rates. But when it comes to individual lending, we do the underwriting, we do the legal part, we do the charging of the asset so that their investment can be secure.
Can you speak about traction a bit? How many MFIs have you onboarded so far?
Thank you. So far, we have 60. We have 60 total of 60 lenders, and out of that, we are talking of 18 SACCOs and MFIs. We are also talking of around $2.19 million dollars that have been transacted on our platform, and around almost 30,000 loans have been disbursed. And we're also talking of having a property or lady that we have secured, where we have 75 units that we are almost now launching so that people can be able to be funded to own them, costing at $7,000, and it's repayable in 2 years.
What happens in the case of default when it comes to peer-to-peer transactions when you're the underwriter?
Thank you so much. That was the biggest problem that we are solving through our platform, because we have realized there's hunger for individuals to invest through. That's why they are doing betting. So ours is to let them invest on assets, because assets are generating more value to the borrowers and therefore increasing their chances of payment. And again, there is also an end result. We talk about appraisal in terms of character, the purpose of the loan, all that. And the whole reason as to why we do that is so that there can be a final result, just in case there's a default. The investor does not lose their money.
And you mentioned that there's an underwriter to kind of underwrite the loans that are not consumer specific.
Underwriter?
So not the individuals, kind of the peer-to-peer lending, correct?
Yeah, because actually the questions that we got the moment we launched our platform is, I want to lend to people, but now number one, I don't have someone to lend to, and if I have someone to lend to, what if they default? So we are answering to the questions of people wanting to invest, and they don't know who to invest to and where they'll get the money, and that's why now we have the portfolio of assets from the people and businesses who need the assets, and also the houses for us now to be able to empower people to own income-generating assets. Houses generate rent.
And what's the default rate now?
Currently, I can tell you for sure, default rate is less than 3%. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Great. Good to see FinTech represented at the Africa Fintech Summit, and good to see Uganda represented. We're going to stay with FinTech now. Next pitch is Dara.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Omar Ikram, and I'm the founder of Daira, an embedded fintech company. Next slide, please. In Egypt, we have over 100 million individuals living here, with over 70% of that being completely unbanked, and even out of that 30% that's banked, the vast majority of it is underbanked. They barely have any access to any financial services other than just getting access to a payroll card. Next slide, please. And this is where we come in. We allow any company in Egypt, any startup, platform, SME, to start offering financial services fully on a white label basis directly from within their app or whatever platform they have, without taking any of the hassles that comes with being a fintech. We do that to allow them to offer instant payouts. We build our own alternative credit scores, and we are able to underwrite them instantly to allow them to either fund their customers or their suppliers. Next slide. This is expected to be a very huge market in Egypt, and we're just talking about Egypt, and we're just talking about credit here. So we have an estimated 20 to 25 million individuals and micro businesses who lack access to these key financial services, with an estimated financing gap of over $50 billion. At today's interest rate environment, we're talking about the revenue opportunity of over $15 billion. And the way we're going at it is we're doing it B2B2C through partnerships with all of these businesses and startups that have access to the data and have access to all of these customers, where we allow them to grow while we grow at the same time. Next slide, please. So how are we different than existing solutions in the market? If we're talking about traditional businesses and traditional underwriters, we are the only one today that's completely cash flow based rather than being asset backed. We are able to do instant underwriting and instant disbursement. And we're talking about within a few seconds. We also are cheaper than all providers of debt today in the market, especially in that segment we're talking about. And the beauty of it is you get to do it completely from within your app on a white label basis. You don't need to onboard the user on another app for them to be able to use the financial solutions you want to offer them. Next slide, please. Next slide, sorry. So what do we offer today? So today we have a variety of credit offerings. We offer early income access, we offer BNPL, we offer productive financing for them to buy income generating assets. We offer them the ability to issue virtual cards, virtual accounts and prepaid cards for them to be able to get their money on it rather than relying on cash. We're offering them micro insurance products, micro lending, and also some bill payments. Next slide, please. And for that, we built a dream team. Today, we're 20 individuals. With me as the founder, we have Hannah, who leads our commercial side, and Omar, who leads our product. We all come from a background either in tech or financial service, and we really know what we're doing. Next slide. Since we launched last year, in March of last year, we've been growing at over 40% month over month. We've reached around $2 million in annualized revenue and have raised a pre-seed round of $3 million last year. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Question, so you said you do a lot of data-driven financing and you work with the startups and companies because they have, so what are the key data points you look at when looking at creditworthiness?
Sure, so the same way everyone who's generally banked would be able to be underwritten just purely on their work history and income history, we could rely completely on that. So we don't rely on very invasive approaches where you get to siphon all of the data off of the phone for us to be able to underwrite them. We rely completely on their previous transactions with that entity. If they're a customer, we see their previous purchase histories, and we build the pro forma income statement, so to speak, for them. If they're a supplier, we see how they've been performing and how consistent they've been, and we build a credit score based on that, and we start lending them based on that.
How are you coping with the current regulatory framework in Egypt, and what are your delinquency or late payment rates, if there are any?
Sure. On the regulatory framework, we've been building it on a sort of a piece-by-piece basis. For each sort of product, we've been going at, I'm not going to call it a loophole, but the sort of a puzzle approach, trying to make every sort of product work on a standalone basis, while being in line with whatever regulations are in place. We are currently working with the Central Bank of Egypt and the Financial Regulatory Authority to get issues with 5 separate licenses that cover anything from micro lending to SME lending to card issuance to insurance and other operations. In terms of default rate, so let's say it's very, very minimal, less than 1%, definitely.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's B2B2C, that the default rate would be a lot less. But can you tell us a bit about your revenue model? So companies pay some sort of subscription?
It's completely for free. So companies pay us nothing. They get to integrate with us and they don't pay anything. They get to build the entire solution and they don't pay anything. We make our money off of the end customers. So if a customer borrows from us, they get to pay an interest rate. If we sell them an insurance product, we get a commission from the insurance provider. If they do a bill payment, we get a commission from the person they're paying the bill to, and so on and so forth. So it's all based on the end customer paying whatever the cost is.
For the virtual accounts that you're going to create, do you have an underlying bank account? And with which bank have you discussed that?
We partnered with an issuer bank where the entirety of the amounts will be hosted. You do not have a bank account per se, but you do have a virtual store of value with that bank. However, you are issued a prepaid card, and that prepaid card number could be used for people to transfer money to you. So that card number acts as if it's your bank account number, but the entirety of the amount is hosted with an issuer bank. Thank you.
Mahmoud, I guess you've already had all of your questions answered. Great. All right, from a homegrown talent, we're going to go to West Africa now, all the way from Lagos. Lindsay Joe, Diagnostar.
Testing. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity for us to introduce to you Diagnose the Health. My name is Joe Phillip, and this is my co-founder, Lindsay. I'm going to start today's discussion with two alarming statistics and one interesting fact. Do you know that according to the World Health Organization, misdiagnosis that occur in Africa is over 50%. And 98% of people seeking care don't have the immediate financing to pay for that care. But the interesting fact is, my background, I was once an investment banker, and after business school, I went into oil and gas. So my background is not in healthcare. But I was not immune to the inefficiencies in the healthcare sector on the continent. I'll tell you a true story. A very close family of mine was misdiagnosed multiple times with the wrong diseases. He got critical, he almost died. Luckily, my brother, who's a doctor based in the US, got a friend of his who's a colleague to give my family member a second opinion. It was through telemedicine they discovered that he had a kidney disease, a stage 5 kidney disease. So we were fortunate enough to have the resources and the contact to fly him to the United States, where he got his treatment. He's back in Nigeria now, and his doctor in the US and his doctor in Nigeria are collaborating to make sure they manage his crisis. I could tell you multiple stories about people that have suffered from these inefficiencies that I've experienced and Liz has experienced as well. That's what inspired us to come together and face the challenge we see in the healthcare sector, make an impact, and have the opportunity to make a career out of it. I'll let Lindsay tell you more about our solution.
So DiagnoStar is using technology in order to allow people to have access to quality healthcare. We've created a platform, which has already been built, that basically allows people to schedule appointments with doctors abroad, either for diagnosis or second opinion. It also allows you to have your medical record on there, order prescriptions, and get labs done. So the idea is that we're trying to encompass the entire system from getting a diagnosis all the way to the tests. And then should you need to go abroad, we have a medical tourism aspect, a feature in the platform that would give you the opportunity to go for whatever you need, as well as to access financing, because that's obviously a huge part of it. We've built a really strong group of people. I think that's the next slide. You see two of us. We have a strong team, and we've been able to onboard around 60 doctors abroad. We have pharmacy and lab partners in both Ghana and Nigeria. And that always throws everyone off. We have around 300 users on the platform right now. What we're doing aggressively right now is trying to onboard more users and just to give access to quality care to people on the continent in order to change their lives. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So I'll go back to your story around the collaboration between the doctor abroad and locally. So why the focus on just the doctors abroad? Because the core problem here is the access to healthcare. What happens? Is there any upskilling happening with local doctors? Yeah. So I just want to understand why that outlook with the solution.
Well, it's no surprise that we have seen an outflow of good quality doctors in Nigeria and some parts of Africa to the United States. There's general belief that they have good quality assurance for doctors so that they actually are doing their best to make sure that they diagnose you with the right situation. So people have that trust with doctors abroad. But we're not limiting our doctors to the doctors that are overseas. We're actually creating a global base of providers. We just have a very strong and solid quality assurance check system. So if someone feels comfortable talking to a doctor in Kenya because he's known to be an expert in XYZ, through our platform, they can select that country, select the doctor, read the reviews, and pick that doctor.
And then the idea of the clinical collaboration. So doctors could also contact the doctors on our platform. So let's say you go to your Nigerian doctor and he doesn't feel 100% about it. He can go on and speak to the other doctors. That's part of the kind of relationship that we've built. So obviously there needs to be a transfer of that education and building things up. And we think that that can be built through those collaborations on our platform.
A worst case scenario question. Basically, what if there's a death caused by the doctor collaboration? Who takes the liability and how do you take care of it?
Okay, we do have a strong legal, a telemedicine consent form that people fill out, right? So at the end of the day, you are still, as a user, supposed to go back to your own local doctor and check and make sure that, the diagnosis is something that they also believe in, right? So we've indemnified our doctors, and we're also indemnified the company as well. So at the end of the day, like you walk into any other hospital, right? You make sure that you're trusting who you're going to, and if anything happens at the end of the day, we never know, right? We can't really stop it. But we're trying to establish that you go to somewhere where we believe, or you believe that the doctors have the right education and the right exposure.
We also have doctors on our team to kind of make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible, to have sort of a backup as well. So we have the legal side of it, but then like we have on our team some people that are making sure that, the doctors are who they say they are, what they're doing, and that collaboration is running smoothly. I think there's a lot of gaps in the policies as well, so we've tried to build up our platform to be as protected as it can be.
Thanks for that. You mentioned several initiatives, so travel packages, financing, and then obviously the telehealth. How much of that has been built and how much is still in plan?
I could go on. So we built integrated technology that has all these features, actually. So that journey could be experienced through our platform. So we built it and we're deploying it.
I think we're still working on partnerships. That's a big part of what we're focusing on now. We do have some doctors, we do have some labs. The financing aspect is where that's one of the reasons we're at this event as well, to see what's happening in the fintech space, because we don't want to take everything on, right? We kind of have to have our specialties, but financing is such a key aspect to quality healthcare. So ideally, we would find the right partner to be part of that. And eventually, as we grow, there's opportunities in grants and financing and things like that. But we want to leave it to somebody who kind of has that fintech or that aspect down. So that's what we're actively doing right now, is getting the right partners.
Out of the 300 users, actually, how many of them have used the platform for consultation, and what's the percentage of repeat users?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Out of the 300 users, how many of them have used the platform actually for consultations, and what's the percentage of repeat users, those who have used the platform more than once, if applicable?
Okay, real quick. So we've had all 300 of them use the platform to access doctors for free webinars and also for some free consultation, right? We have a few paying customers, and some of them have come back with their family members to also get some consultation as well.
That's it.
You guys are my friends, but I still have to be fair and cut you off. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm late and I talk too much, so I'm like the last person who should be policing someone on their amount of time. So we've had 6 out of 10. And just a little note on format to give us a breather. As soon as we're done, we're going to ask you all to huddle up and consult. While you're doing that, we'll put some chairs on stage. And so then once you've done a lot amount of time, you'll make a decision and let us know. And we'd like to maybe pick your brain a little bit about the decision-making process and how you came to that decision. So, all right, moving to digital loyalty program. Zeal app is next pitch.
Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Omar Abeid, the founder and CEO of Zeal. Zeal is a mobile payments and digital loyalty app. And the problem we've validated with our customers, our F&B and retail customers, is that they're paying a lot for all the customer data they then collect. Believe it or not, think about it. You walk into a store, you buy a burger, you buy coffee, you pay with your card or you pay with cash, you walk out, they have no idea who you are, they have no way of reaching back to you, and they're paying the price now. They're paying the price by paying a lot on Facebook campaigns, targeting lookalike audiences, and they need an innovative way to retain their customers and increase their revenues. So what have we done? Oh, I can see it. So what have we done? We've built the Zeal experience. We've built a payment and loyalty app that has 3 main features. One feature is having a QR code and giving the merchant a scanner. This scanner is placed next to the cashier. It's integrated with the cashier software. I'm the customer. I walk into the store with my QR code. I place it on the cashier. I pay, and I get my loyalty points instantly. The second experience, or the second feature, is gifting a friend. So for example, imagine you're home. You want to send your girlfriend a nice cup of coffee. You want to make her day, right? So I'm sitting home. I send you a gift, a cup of coffee in the form of a QR code. This way, the merchant is making revenue. It's a completely new revenue stream and retaining their customers. The third, and it's something we've seen with Pret in London, and we've seen with Amazon Subscribe and Save, we're doing some subscriptions on the app. What I mean by subscriptions is if you know you're going to get your coffee from this merchant, or you know you're going to do your hair at this beauty salon, you might as well subscribe, pay in advance, and save your money. And all the transactions are analyzed on our data dashboard. So this is exactly how the Gift a Friend works. You get a QR code on your phone when your friend sends you a gift, and you subscribe and save. For example, it tells you want to subscribe on Espresso Lab, and you get your QR code for the future coffees you're going to get. All the data, all the transactions are powered by AI. So we start predicting the consumer behavior. I start knowing when this customer is going to come back. This is all critical data that merchants are missing out on. So for example, I could start telling the merchant, 80% of your customers didn't come back this week, and if you send them a push notification now, they're 90% more likely to come back, and so on. Our traction thus far has been 75% month-to-month growth. We're incubated at Set Squared London. We have more than 40,000 downloads. We've processed more than $1.1 million. Our annual revenue has been $45,000, and we're live in about 500 locations. And our go-to-market strategy, okay, I'll just skip to the team because this is the most important bit. So we're currently, our team includes some people, the head of marketing, ex-head of marketing from Delivery Hero, and ex-head of operations POS Rocket. We've got the board of advisors of Yoyo in London. They've just got acquired and they're joining our team. Malik Sultan from Disruptech, and Alet Hashim, Endeavor's top mentor. Thank you very much.
Maybe the first question is, what has been the biggest challenge to kind of accelerate growth?
The first challenge that we faced, we started off as a loyalty app, but we knew we were going to get into payment. So we got into payment, and then it was very hard selling still payment and loyalty because it's still very early stage in Africa and in Egypt, correct? In-store payments. We're aggregating in-store payments, just like Talabat, etc., are aggregating delivery orders. So we had to complement in-store payments with other features, and that's why we built the Gift a Friend. It was hard scaling. We started integrating with Oracle. We integrated with POS Rocket, which is an algebra portfolio company. We've integrated with Foodex. You just walk, we've become a plug-and-play device. You just plug in the scanner. We're not reliant on hardware. They can choose to have our tech embedded within the cashier software. So it's an app, and that's it.
Thank you for that. I just want to get a bit of overview on your who is on your platform. So a bit about your graphics, average transaction value. So we'd love to hear the kind of overview data points that you have right now.
It's very interesting.
Sorry, and just to add, because engagement. So how often do actually people end up using this?
Okay, so we work with our top 2 segments or verticals, or beauty salons and F&B. We work with the top beauty salon in Egypt, which is El Saghir. And it's very, very interesting because thankfully women like to spend more on their hair. So the average transaction is around maybe 1,000 plus. Not the average, I wouldn't say average, but that's how much it can go up to. You're talking about average transaction there, 150 pounds. When you come to coffee shops, obviously, and the F&B becomes around 50 pounds, 50 to 100 pounds. And then what was the other question, sorry?
Maybe we'd love to hear age groups.
Yeah. So age group, you're talking mainly 20 to 26. And this is the main segment. but we do have people. So we just signed on board, for example, Burger Truck. They've got a lot of kids, but we're enabling the tech for parents to send credit to their kids to make in-store purchases.
And then in terms of engagement, so how often does a person that has downloaded the app ends up using it?
So as of now, we process around more than 10,000 transactions a week. I don't have the numbers on the top of my head, but it depends from cohort to cohort, obviously. But I can definitely...
But the 10,000 transactions are based out of how many users for that?
From the 40,000 users we have, 15% of them are active. And when I say active, they transact at least once a month. So 15% of them are.
What about loyalty programs that individual firms have? Like Pret, you mentioned, they all have loyalty programs.
Correct.
So are you just focusing the Egyptian and maybe a little bit of African market? Because most of Western Europe and US will have these programs.
Of course. So we've raised $1.5 million from Saudi Arabia. Like I said, we've got the guys from Yo-Yo, which have done Cafe Nero in London, etc. They're joining our team. So we know what's happening with Pret. I've seen Prets, I've used it. We do the exclusive one-to-one, the merchant-to-customer loyalty, and we also do the cross-selling of loyalty program within the platform, so that they could benefit from cross-selling, and that they could benefit from the one-to-one, just retaining their own customer.
Last thing, which markets would you plan on expanding to next, besides Egypt?
So obviously Saudi Arabia is next for us. Just because a lot of our investors are based there and they're very well connected. We're looking at Africa. We're in talks with Flutterwave. Spoke to them yesterday as well, actually. So just piggyback riding on someone like Flutterwave. This is something super interesting for them because they're mainly focused on e-commerce and digital commerce, but they want to get into the in-store transactions as well. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Cheers. Nicely done. I was reminded by my team that I have to be on stage because we have a virtual audience watching us, so I can assure you I said nothing significant. So you missed nothing there, but you are missing a lovely night in Cairo. We're in an open-air rooftop at GrEEK Campus Library. If we were in New York, we definitely would not be open air right now. Great. All right, switching gears. Yesterday, one of the most dominant themes I heard throughout the day was centered around data. The need for data, solving for data issues. We're going to hear a little bit more about that now. Next pitch, Analytica BI.
Hello, everyone. Super happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Okay. My name is Ahmed Al-Labban. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Analytica BI. So Analytica BI is a data analytics solution that actually provides through automated 360 analysis for the companies in the growth stage. We do that to unlock the power behind the data and allow customers to be able to take actionable decisions based on science. We wanted to be industry agnostic, yet we were, in the beginning, we were focusing on the e-commerce businesses in order for them to be able to scale. So why e-commerce? We started Analytica BI actually in 2020. So the first code happened in Analytica BI was January 2020, and our MVP launched in December 2020. And at that time, the e-commerce industry jumped rapidly in terms of growth. So we decided to focus on the e-commerce. Also, it represents the retail side of the economy. Let's take some insights from here. So according to the digital report and Shopify and Report Linker, we're talking about, so sorry, yes, 47 stores in the Africa and Middle East. Out of them, 30K stores that they are using e-commerce enablers, such as Shopify, WooCommerce, etc. Out of this, we're talking about 15K stores that are using Shopify only, and the total goods had been consumed till now, till March 2021, is 400 billion USD. That's why we decided to go for the e-commerce. Data volume is huge, too much data. Then in order for the e-commerce to be able to scale, they need to work with their data. And in order to work with the data, they need to extract the data from the multiple data sources, take it into cleansing process, and then analyze their data, which requires know-how, time, effort, or hiring a data analyst team, which also requires investment and micromanagement effort along with the know-how to coach. So this is how Analytica BI solved the problem. We build our own data connectors to be able to extract data from multiple data sources, put it all together in one place, and then take the data into harmonizing and cleansing process in order to provide the customers with readable dashboards that allow them to be able to understand and the most important thing, take actionable decisions based on it. Again, total market size is 300 billion USD in the mentioned regions, Middle East and Africa, and the launch addressable market is 16.8 million USD, which we are targeting at these days. How we make money? We are SaaS. So we have tiered subscription plans and we have customized subscription plans. The tiered subscription plans, aside of the freemium model, because we have a freemium model as barrier of entry and leads tank, we have 100 USD and 200 USD, etc. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right. Yeah, the traction, the 5 seconds. Since December, 117K had been made, 209 customers, it's 209 users, out of them 93 customers with a conversion of 44%. Most of them, they are using our solution twice a week. We are global, yet we focus on the Africa and Middle East, but we have Sweden customers, France, Portugal, Brazil. Thank you so much. Happy to have your questions.
Very interesting to see you've got 81 customers in Brazil. Why so much traction in Brazil versus Egypt or Africa?
Well, 81 customers in Egypt, and we have 1 customer in Brazil. Yeah, that's easy.
And how has been the retention?
Yeah, well, actually, we had 4 customers that we lost once we changed our subscription model. So out of the customers along the way, we started with 50 USD before we jumped to 100 USD, and for that we lost 4 customers only from December till now.
What's the segmentations of your customers? Are they like startups or enterprises and so forth?
Yeah, so we are targeting customers at the growth stage, which means 1+ years in business and with MRR 5K USD, located in Middle East and Africa. That's for now. So yeah, this is the stage that we are targeting. So we're mainly going for startups at this stage before we go for enterprise, because enterprise, they require sometimes more tailor-made reports that we don't have capacity for, but we head into that. Any more questions? Yeah.
Would love to, if you can kind of tell us the quality of the detailed data. So what exactly are you telling them?
Exactly. So what we are selling actually is more data analysis based on the statistics than aggregations. That's what makes us stand out of the crowd. So we provide, for example, if you are an owner for an e-commerce, we provide you with a product recommendation. Which product can be recommended to which customer specifically, and customer segmentation based on something called RFM model. So this is a statistical model. We also do a kind of product bundling, so I can tell you what kind of product are more likely to be sold with what kind of product, and that's what actually made our customers paying us. So we have 1 customer in Sweden. Their name is Get Special, and they were preparing for the Christmas, and the reason that they used our service is because, 1, we consolidate all the data in one place. So we consolidate Google Analytics, we consolidate Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and plus the database that they have. And we put the storytelling in a holistic view, so they can just know starting from the cohort until the last mile delivery, what's going on, including some sales forecasting, inventory management, because we have something called ABCXYZ testing, which is somehow we can say that we are one of the few that we are providing this type of analysis. So we stand out of the crowd in this. We use the statistics more than just aggregating numbers. Yeah.
Perhaps maybe could you tell us about your background?
Yeah, so I used to be a banker I used to be working in the banking industry for 10 years. Then after I resigned, I had 2 startups. This is the third one. Yeah, the first couple of startups, they are actually, we can say that they are 6 digits in Egyptian pounds scale in MRR right now. But now I have just 5%. I sold my shares in order to focus on Analytica BI. Yeah, so this is my background. I'm MBA holder in the investment, and also I'm certified by financial advisory by Standard Chartered in London. More questions? Thank you.
Nicely done. I think we're 8 down. 2 more to go. I'll take a quick minute to address our virtual audience again. You can watch this in the app, by the way. We have a few questions coming in from around the world. A lot of the people watching are probably aspiring startups. One of the sponsorships that we had for the Africa Fintech Summit was from Square and Jack Dorsey, and they provided complimentary virtual tickets to students around Africa to be able to tune in at no cost. And so yesterday, I saw a lot of universities had the day off to watch, so they all went to an auditorium, so they were forced to watch all of us talk. But I know there's been a lot of engagement from their side. So just to look at a couple of questions that are coming in from our virtual audience. How many startups are pitching in the regional finals, and what fund stage is the eligibility? There are 10. The fund stage is pre-Series A. The way we do it is we open up a nomination and application platform for any pre-Series A company that has operations in at least one African country. We then review pitch decks. Our board, our team makes a selection. The 10 that we pick, we give free exhibition space to at the Africa Fintech Summit, and they get a chance to come here and pitch as part of our partnership with Startup World Cup and Pegasus Ventures. So that's generally the process. We try to have representation from around the continent. We try to be sector agnostic, even though we're a little biased towards fintech. And that's generally the process. So we hope you apply next year if you're relevant. Is the pitch being recorded? Yes, it is. We're going to make all of these recordings, along with the decks that you're seeing here, available on the app in the coming days, and the same is true for the summit yesterday. What are the key prizes for winners at Startup World Cup? So this is one of several regional finals around the world. Asia, there's Southeast Asia, East Asia, North, South, East, and West Africa. The winner today will go to California in September, representing the region. And then the winner of the grand finale will be awarded a $1 million equity prize from Pegasus Ventures. Where do I find the names of the startups? On our website, on the app. There's a program that somehow got lost between all the places that the ecosystem tour went today and here, but we'll load up a digital version of it on the app. We'll be announcing the winners on our website and in our newsletter. If you don't subscribe to our newsletter, that's a good reason too, among others. Yeah. Where can I see this? Well, you're not going to get the answer to that if you're not already watching this, so fair enough. We'll go to our eighth out of 10. Hero is the next pitch.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for giving us a chance to be here today. This is Ibrahim Ali speaking. I am CEO of Hero Startup. Advice is don't put all your eggs in one basket. But with Hero, all your delivery needs, as we see, in one basket. Actually, we are living in new urban communities, new cities here in Egypt, and we are facing a lot of problems to get our needs with one delivery. because every time we request for order, it's coming with minute delivery and coming with different time. So for sure, can you please show? Yes. So for sure, we lost time and money. Not only this, small business also in the new cities, they are facing a lot of problem. One of the most important thing, high cost to hire a delivery. So Hero is one of the delivery platform in Egypt. We invite technology to logistic and supply chain industry to create a seamless delivery experience. We help both user by giving them a solution. All their need, they can order from different merchant in one basket with the same delivery phase, with the same delivery man. Not only this, we help small business in Africa and in Egypt by offering them a solution called Hero Express. No need to hire a delivery anymore. You can use our Hero platform and you can order delivery digitally. Let me talk about the market size. 17 million people, they are living in new cities in Egypt. Egyptian 2030 vision, more than 30 million people, they are living there. Also, next please. What's our value proposition? We are working on the new cities, all in one basket. We are providing multiple demand, like multiple payment option. Pay the way you like. You can pay by credit, by wallet, by QR code as a payment. You can use all of this. Also, we are providing for the small business like Hero Express. Next, please. Our revenue model, we take 10% commission from merchant. We take $35 from merchant, they don't have a delivery. And we took also 20% from freelance delivery as a delivery fees. Okay, what about traction? Actually, till the moment, 25,000 people, they trust our service and they install our app. 36,000 people, they are ordering from our service. Actually, we help more than 200 small business. And also, we hire 120 delivery guy, and the GMV is 675K USD dollar. Okay, our roadmap, actually, we start the journey in New Burj Al Arab City, quarter 2 and 3, okay. Okay, thank you. Can I take, okay, thank you. It's okay, fine. I want to talk about my team, please. We have a different experience. Actually, I am Ibrahim, CEO. I have more than 13 years of experience of business development. Ismail, CTO, and Ahmed, CEO. Thank you so much, really, for giving us a chance to be here today. It's one of the wonderful days for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm just a bit confused. So is this a B2C play or a B2B play?
B2B and B2B2C. Actually, we are B2C.
Yeah, because it seemed that the customer can order whatever they want.
Yes,
so they can
yes.
do the pharmacy, they can do, I don't know, grocery, etc.
Yes,
so
for
they're
sure.
the ones that are...
It's like, actually, we are offering multiple on-demand service, like pharmacy, grocery, food, all in one basket with the same delivery man, with the same delivery charge. And also
so the customer places the order and does the, and at the same time you also do that for the B2B to the small merchants.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
So actually we are doing good business because we are reducing the cost and reducing the traffic. You know, imagine with me, yani, if you order from one merchant, and if you order from many merchants, and we will deliver it with the same delivery man. So we are reducing the mixing and also.
That was my question around the revenue model. How have you figured out the pricing? Because your cost across the journey could be significantly high. For example, the guy needs to pick from 5 destinations and go to a customer at a 6th destination. Have you costed that into your model, or how have you thought about it?
Actually, we already tried this because our competitor, for example, if we look at our competitor, you cannot order from 2 merchants at the same order, right? If you want to order from KFC and from Pizza Hut, you should order 2 times, not 1 time. 2 times means a lot of money, means a different time. From our side, we are providing, this is, let me say, this is our know-how. it's delivery, collect the item from the first merchant, then from the second, from the third, then delivered at the same time for the with the same delivery fees. I hope to.
I still don't understand about the same delivery fees because I can order something from the east and something from the west. This is a cost incurred by you. So
We are working in closed zone. Closed zone. We are not working with open zone. It's closed zone. If you want to order from different merchant, we can do that for you. And it's actually it's depending the cost on this area. So we are targeting the new cities. New cities means, for example, here the market area, and there the villas and the other houses and something like this. If you want to go from point A to point B, you have to pay more money to go there. So we help you by collect and simply, yani, we are doing shopping for you and deliver the item to you. Yani. That's simple. Yani.
So what is the estimated time delivery? So if I order from like 4 or 5 places?
60 minutes. 60 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, last one. Just a reminder, only because I had to be reminded, keep the microphone close or the people out there won't be able to hear you. We're working to get a list of our startups on the screen. Someone, probably one of our neighbors nearby, is enjoying a beautifully designed large box of programs right now. But we'll get that up soon. And in the meantime, our 10th and final pitch, EdTech, Educately.
I came here today thinking about you all. I guess some of you are investors, maybe some working on public, private sectors, and some are entrepreneurs or startup owners. And I asked myself, what would you be here, why would you be here today? And why would you choose Educately? I couldn't really find a more powerful answer than what these powerful leaders have shared some years and years ago. For you investors, Benjamin Franklin have shared that the most rewarding investments comes from investment in knowledge. And Mandela have shared that the powerful of education could change the power of our society and how we scale it up. While Gandhi had advised every entrepreneurs that learning should be a lifelong journey. Those are universal leaders. Imagine in the next 100 years, we're able to replicate them in your companies, in your cities, in your countries. How would the world look like? How would our continent look like? My name is Mohammed Saif, and I'm the founder and CEO of Educately. We are on a mission to digitally map and integrate the world education ecosystem. Simply, we are building for education what LinkedIn has built for jobs. Students use our platform to search, compare, and apply for thousands of educational opportunities across the globe. And we work with universities to help them recruit and engage students globally. We currently have over 375 universities that over 30,000 programs. And we crossed over 100,000 users. And today we just announced a closure of a $1 million investment round. Thank you. The problem is, what does this have to do with fintech? The thing is, less than 5% of our student base can actually afford to access their dream education. And there's no robust solution in our region. So we are here because we're building Educately's student financing solution. It's a platform that empowers students to still connect with their dream education while they have ability to pay for it later. We cover for them the tuition fees, all the way from $5,000 to $50,000, directly with the university, with a repayment plan that goes from 1 year to 10 years, with an APR that has an average of 15% yearly. Our business model are centered in our Educately Fund, which is an integration with third parties like banks, financial institutions, government, and so on. And we capture a commission and management fees that varies between 1 to 3% yearly. Now students can search, compare, apply, get funded, and use our Bay Gateway, and enroll through one platform. We have a powerful team that comes from really mega organizations, worked in LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, and we are supported by the Egyptian government, the UAE government, and the Irish government. The history have shown us all that one leader can change the world. Imagine hundreds of them. And I'm here to invite you in inspiring more and more leaders through education. Thank you.
I like the synchronization of the clicking.
Yes, we were like thinking how we're going to sing that.
Very interesting. I guess the US government has a big problem of trying to reach out into students' bank accounts and take the money. What's your solution to that problem through this product?
So the issue is, right now, if we are diversifying the financial institution that we work with goes all the way from banks to governments to financial support, like for example in Egypt we have Aman, we have other solutions. What we do through the data we collect from students, so we can help them in the scoring of the students. So we can facilitate at least the ensuring that the risk that happens is minimized. And depending on the category of the financial institution we work with, then the sophistication of this process would be going from low to high, I would say. Does this answer your question?
Not fully, because what I'm trying to figure out is if somebody doesn't want to pay, let's say they go work for JP Morgan, but they're not willing to pay. How do you kind of challenge the bank to go and pay so that you can get your fee?
So the student doesn't want to pay back the money, you mean? Right. So in general, what we're trying to do here is to build digital integrations with sophisticated organizations that have the entire financial model set up in their place. So in general, you could actually go to some banks in the US. This solution is existing in North America in general, and you could get the loan and you don't pay later, right? So this is a risk that is entitled in that sector. We're not really getting into this. What we're doing is we're integrating such a fintech solutions with our streamlined process, admission process, making a diverse fund portfolio and not holding that risk ourselves. Maybe that's why the integration with third parties like banks and so on that already have that established. And through our data, we try to enhance their scoring system, but not really that I'm not saying here that we're fixing that risk for them, because it's still existing. I do think it will have a certain existence no matter the solution would provide it, but yeah.
But I'm wondering what kind of data are you getting, because it seems like a lead gen all the way until they apply and they want to do financing. So if they don't do financing on your website, you didn't make money from the whole journey, correct? So they're comparing the universities, etc. You're not making money off of that. It's only when, even if they apply, you only make money if they take the loan, correct?
So there's two ways we make money here. The first one is through the funding opportunities, and this is one option. And then the payment gateway that we're creating here is literally, we have over 400 universities offering 30,000 programs that we can directly make students pay for any of them. So the payment gateway is another avenue for us to actually collect the money that has to do with the tuition fee of the university. And this is another.
Yes, but mostly when it comes to payments and payment gateways, it's a volumes business. So you wouldn't be considering it like a big chunk of the revenue stream. It has to have massive volumes to make it count, actually. So
that goes actually, we are an existing platform. The scalability of our business goes because we use a global sales force of what we call recruitment partners and student ambassadors, which enable us. We have the foundation of universities, 30,000 programs. We get students funneled through recruitment partners that we work with across the regions. So we're able to reach thousands of students. We're able to admit thousands of students, not entirely getting admitted through our internal team, but through our global sales force that is spread across different regions. So the scalability of the admission process is not held internally, and hence it's really scalable on the numbers. So the commission that goes through the payment gateway is a reasonable avenue.
Are you the one who is kind of in charge of scoring the students and determining which students are going to get funding or not, or that is something that you outsource to?
Yeah, very good question. So we work with this with this financial institutions to adapt the integration with our system regarding their scoring systems. Well, depending on the information, the sophistication of the information they need, we adapt that request in our platform. So we think of banks, they have a bit more sophistication in the ranking systems, but then we think of some financial institutions have a bit less intense one. So we are kind of adapting with them, working in that integration to adapt the way they do it, but we're not the one actually calculating or doing the ranking ourselves.
Are you currently just focused on a higher level in education or also lower than that?
So we focusing on higher education. The 30,000 programs we have access to varies from postgrad, undergrad, PhD, masters, short courses, online learning, and so on. So we work with big universities to small ones. They offer a diverse portfolio of educational programs that a lot of people actually would love to access, but they definitely have a less purchasing power to do so.
Awesome. Well done. We had no egregious time overruns, which I'm very grateful for. Those are very frequent in these pitch competitions. Next up, we're going to give our esteemed judges a few minutes to deliberate. While you're doing that, we're going to set up some seats for you on the stage. 7 minutes? Good? It's a quick turnaround. I hope you don't make real investment decisions that quickly. I'll ask you all to please hang around. We're going to hear from our judges afterwards. I'd like to reserve this front row, if I could, sorry to kick you out, for all of the startups that pitched today, so you can engage with the judges when it comes time. So see you back in 7 minutes at our very first Africa Fintech Summit. Now, just a handful of years later, they're on stage as the Africa Fintech's expanding globally. So pay attention to these people today, and in a couple of years, they might be telling you about their success at our Africa Fintech Summit. Awesome. Come on up, guys. That seemed like an intense discussion. Was there disagreement?
I think there was more agreement than we liked, which is why we wanted to dig a little bit deeper. And the trouble was some of those companies were already investee companies or people on the panel. So we just wanted to make sure that there is the right level of diligence given and kind of support given to the other companies that didn't have supporters on the judging part. So that's why it took a bit longer. So I do apologize for running over.
Are you saying that EFG was biased towards their portfolio company?
No, EFG abstained, man.
Abstained.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair
Abstained.
enough. You guys are a fair crew. Well, can you tell us a little bit about the deliberation process? What attracted you? What scared you?
The deliberation process, nothing was scary. I think, I think we were all. I think the conversation was very interesting.
I should say, if this were your money, what would scare you?
No, honestly, I think the idea that it's just 3 minutes. We have a lot of follow-up questions that I think we asked each other about how we understood kind of this pitch or this particular item versus someone else. I think this was different. So perhaps maybe longer and a longer pitch can make it a bit clearer. But I think
sometimes wonder about that with these pitch sessions. It does seem a bit superficial. Obviously, if you're diligencing a real investment, you're really digging much below the surface. Do you find use in these, or is that just a too shallow of an assessment period?
I think it gauges your interest. So, like you get a mental note that you want to talk to this person afterwards, but also there's the idea that you obviously want to give other people the option to ask questions, although you might want to kind of poke holes on one specific thing. So so I think it's a mix of both.
Great. Well, can you pull back the curtain and tell us a little bit about what you discussed? What were the influences in the final decision? assuming there is a final decision?
I think the discussions are right about, you know, the opportunity. People are looking at the industry and trying to understand the problems that some of the businesses are trying to solve. I think also there was a lot of discussion around really understanding the business themselves and how different they are from existing businesses in this ecosystem and in other ecosystems as well. I think a lot of discussions around that.
How much did geography come into the discussion? Were you talking about market sizes, specific nuances of Uganda, Nigeria, Egypt?
Yeah, it definitely kicked in, but we're lucky that we're all from different markets, actually. So we sort of used each other's diligence and stuff. So that was good, actually. I don't understand about the Nigerian market as much as he does, so it was good, actually. We had insights in the other markets as well.
I overheard Saad saying you like the health tech sector. Were there some initial predilections towards specific startups because of the space they were coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. They are. And that's just the way we're ingrained as humans, right? So if I have a pet project that I'm really looking to dig into, you're more intrigued, you have more data points around it. So as a consequence, you can understand what the entrepreneur is targeting and what problem they're trying to solve. I think what was really interesting with the team was the breadth of the experience. And as a consequence, we could get data points just internally amongst the conversation that we didn't figure out amongst the pitches. So even though I had a bias, I think that bias could be corrected fairly quickly amongst the team. So I think that team dynamic played pretty well.
Great. I will mention to the virtual audience again, there's a poll that's live. You can vote for your favorite. And everyone here can, in fact, please pull up the app and vote for your favorite. And we'll see if you line up with our judges. Before we get the final announcement, do we have one question from any of the startups? A really quick question. Patiently waiting.
Hello, I'm his co-founder. I was clicking. I hope you had an enjoyable deliberation, but I'll ask you back your question, and I'll be like, what do you think of startups that would come out there to this space and offer users incentives in order for them to decrease default rates? So for example, they'd be, if you subscribe to a recurring payment model where we can charge you on a quarterly basis without you even asking about it, and we'll give you an 0.5% discount on commission. What do you think of such models?
Thanks for aiming my question right at me. I appreciate it. And you know, you should test us as well, right? So first of all, we discussed that exact idea. And what I would have loved to see is a vocational training model where you're actually going to the business to pay you rather than the customer. As a consequence, you reduce your default risk. And the reason I phrased the question that I did is it's a topical issue in the US around defaults of the students. It's the same in the UK, but I think the US numbers are huge. So I guess you've got to figure out a way to tie them into this to their employment, right? So what they can't do, systems can't do at the moment, is they don't tie them into the employment. It's slightly tougher to do, and you may seem a little bit invasive, but if you want that business model to survive, you also have to take some key strategic decisions. Then the model makes a lot of sense. And by the way, one of the most amount of time we spent was on you guys trying to figure out, and by the way, congratulations on the $1 million. It is
you guys don't need this. You just got $1 million.
Yeah. That was our decision as well. No, kidding. No. So if you tailor the model to start off with, on the vocational side and build it to perfect the model on the kind of conventional education side, I think it speaks to me. Again, EdTech is a very kind of core business model of mine that I really want to invest in Africa, but I haven't seen that model successful. So if you guys can do it with us, and we definitely support you guys.
All right, I think the time is now. Some of us are thirsty. Maybe to make the announcement, Wanjika, we haven't heard from you. Can you tell us who the winner was?
So we decided that the winner is, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Amanleek.
We'll have you on in 1 second. We're super happy about that. We've done a webinar with Amanleek and are interested in the insurance market. Quick overview, why Amanleek?
So we had a long deliberation about it, and one of the things that we really contested about was, are they really revolutionizing that space? And I think we came to the conclusion that they may not be revolutionizing the space because it's a very heavy legacy, but what they're doing is trying to at least make whatever they can right now efficient, and we like that. So I think that was our conclusion from the long deliberation.
Any props to some very close to second place?
Just to add for Amanleek, one extra thing, I think the disruption comes to going to the middle and lower income. So you have a very small percentage of the population that is actually insured, and then you have a wide market that is uninsured. So being able to create kind of cheaper products for this segment, I think this is something that is very valuable. The optimal thing is to reach this extent where you're able to underwrite and able to kind of get quick clearance on those claims. But till you're able to reach this point, I think a starting point at this kind of approach is the viable one. We also really like Daira. We think fintech, embedded fintech is kind of the way to go, as opposed to kind of the typical digital banking segment. So this is definitely also a very interesting business that we discussed.
Awesome. Come on up. Amanleek, the winner of the North Africa Regional Final Startup World Cup. Come on up. Hold on, brother. If we could just get a quick photo, and then we'll have a really quick closing remark. Right in the middle. Yeah.
I wish we had a prize to give you.
You'll get your $1 million. Yeah. I will buy you a Heineken downstairs. Great, well done. Hey, we'll stay on stage just for 1 minute. Let me just thank everyone. Congratulations, super happy for you. See you in California. Our judges, I'd really like to thank Bitta Wyclef from Goodwill Investments, Laila Hassan from Algebra Ventures, Saud Sheikh from TLG Capital, and Wanjika from the Baobab Network, and Mahmoud, of course, from EFG. Really, really grateful for you sharing your insights today. We deliberated on our side very carefully about who would judge this. So you have all of our gratitude. Congratulations again. Thank you, everyone. I would especially like to thank Andrew Barden, who is the lead organizer. Andrew put the summit together, put today together, really made this happen. So big thanks to Zakaria Samsulu, Florencia Solana, everyone who made this a reality today. So thank you all very much.